Hello, 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 everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I personally want to thank you so much for showing interest and wanting to know more about Mother Ayahuasca, for you taking your personal time to do the research and see what Mother Ayahuasca is all about. I'm sure that's why you ended up on this video, or you probably already have done research on her and just love to hear more about her. Whatever the reasons are, I am truly grateful that you're here, because I think it is this exact thing that more of us need to really understand. Not only Mother Ayahuasca, but other plant teachers, other master plants, other master plant teachers, and even other things, that's labeled as psychedelics and things like that, that have been labeled as drugs. We as individuals, we need to take the time to look further and do our own seeking to come up with our own results and figure out for ourselves what we believe, what we find to be true, and if this is something that will serve us, serve our highest good. So I am so glad that you came here today to watch my video. And I hope you stay through to the end. And I hope that whatever I share today, that there's at least something here for you that will help you in your journey, help you in your research. And if you do have any questions, I am like super open to you commenting or emailing to have any kind of discussion, or if I can provide resources for you. Um, and of course, I have services and stuff like that as well if you're interested in that. And if you like this video, if you like the content that I shared today, please, I would be so grateful if you can like this video, share it with your friends, share it on social media. Let's get the word out there about Mother Ayahuasca and what she has to offer. And I would love for you to subscribe. And if you do subscribe, make sure to click the notification bell so that you can be notified. I always completely forget about that whole new thing right there, but that'll help out with you being able to find my content easier. All right. Thank you. Now that I got that out of the way, I I haven't done this in a while, but I want to do it again because it will really help anchor me and anchor you. I would love for us to do 3 deep breaths together so that we can anchor our energy and settle in so that we can focus. Okay, take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth 3 times. Okay, so. Hmm. Man, that felt great. You can't deny that felt great. If you really took really deep breaths, that always feels so fucking good. Okay, now that I've gotten that out of the way, I've been wanting to talk about this for a very long time, but with everything that was going on in my life, it's like all the content, everything I wanted to share was kind of like everywhere, and I couldn't really bring it in together cohesively. I also felt like it just wasn't time. And that happens sometimes as like the human part of us, the ego. We may want to get something done, but it just may not be the right timing. There's just divine timing, man. And I really think and feel that it's actually the right time to present this second episode, which is about physical embodiment. And I'm actually really, really excited that I'm talking about this in this year, the beginning of this year, 2019. I don't know why. I just actually feel really excited about it. Guessing maybe this might be the year for a lot of people anchoring in like for real, into the 5D grid, like really bringing a lot of higher consciousness, anchoring it in onto planet Earth. You know, I think that us individually, we are doing that on some scale. And in some areas around the world, we are collectively doing this. But I think because of the portal during winter solstice, and it depends on which timeline you experience this. I don't know which year it was for you, but and I say that for a reason. So if you had an experience during the winter solstice last year or the year before that, so I'm talking about the winter solstice of 2017 or the winter solstice of 2018, there was definitely a shift. There was a bridge that opened up from the current um, reality, 3D into 5D. And it's actually really hard to put into words. It could be that timelines ended up merging too. I really don't know. I just know that in 2018, that's when I felt some drastic, in a good way, yet subtle changes, a transition. And when I woke up the day of winter solstice, the 21st, I felt that me and my partner, were literally on the bridge. It's hard to explain, but if you've also had the experience, you're going to already know what I'm speaking about. So I think that's also probably why Mother Ayahuasca wants me to talk about this now, why Spirit wants me to talk about it now. And that's because so many of us are crossing over. We're crossing over, and we have that task not only for our own individual lives and reality, but collectively. Yeah, and you know what? That I didn't even know I was about to speak about that right now. So that must be what's going on, because it just felt to come out. What I originally wanted to share with you is that the way I do the video today is going to be slightly different, because I couldn't cohesively bring all the ideas together to bring you a more focused, streamlined video of content until just about a week or two ago. It came rushing through me very fast, just as I experienced channeling, or when I feel like I'm supposed to get in front of the camera and speak. It was like that, but this time I felt I was supposed to write it down, and I like wrote it down really fast. I have the content written down. I'm going to be posting a blog post. So this time around, there will be a blog post for those who like to read what I have to share today about Mother Ayahuasca. If you prefer audio or audio visual, you can come to this YouTube video. I'm going to be reading content, but I truly hope that this is something here for you, that what I have to share, so that you'll focus on the content, okay? I'm going to go ahead and start. Mother Ayahuasca teaches much about physical embodiment. It's a topic that I've wanted to touch on for some time, and I feel her urging me to do that now. I think it's perfect timing, considering all the astrological events we experienced over the past years. So I'm talking about 2018, guys. These events caused influence, created space, and opportunities for different experiences to take place, whether that was something within, internal, or without, external, with others. In the last part of the 2018 year, there was a huge increase in the air element, in Vata, as it's called in Ayurveda. Makes sense, because so many of us experienced intense changes. Change and moving around a lot causes increase in the air element. With the air element high, it can cause an imbalance in us and around us. Observe the wind, how it moves through trees, billows over spaces, and picks up different things and moves them, whether they be creatures, plants, or inanimate objects. With the air increase in our elemental makeup within, it causes the mind to be disorganized, flustered, out of touch with physical reality. It increases anxiety, confusion, and a lot of other symptoms that are associated with mental illness. So earlier when I began the video, I spoke about how this is perfect timing, divine timing, and I gave my reasons, but there are other reasons too. Because Sunday, the 6th of January, it was the first new moon of this 2019 year. And for me personally, Sunday the 6th, that new moon, it struck the new beginning, new year mark for me. It wasn't January 1st. I didn't feel like that's when I didn't feel like, oh yeah, this is the new year. I don't know, I just didn't feel it energetically. But on the 6th, I definitely felt it, that new moon. Also, tomorrow, I say that tomorrow because I think I'm gonna bust my butt to edit this video and get it out tonight. So tomorrow, the Sunday the 20th, Monday the 21st. I guess it will depend on which time zone you're in and everything, what part of the world you're in. It's the super moon. It's also a full moon. So it's the blood wolf moon, or it's wolf blood moon. Did I say that correctly? And full moons are about endings, letting go. Yeah, I really think this is perfect timing to be talking about this, okay? Because it's all about us letting go of the old and embracing the new way, a new way of living, a new way of doing, a new way of thinking, a new way of being, a new way of speaking, okay? So perhaps this message is coming forth at this time to plant seeds for cultivation and intention for this new year before us. Physical embodiment has many layers, many levels. She, Mother Ayahuasca, she showed me, taught me to be more in my body, and that I had not been in my body the majority of my present life. I had not been anchored into my physical form. You can see that in one of my videos that I published back in 2016, and I'll provide that link above and below. You can definitely see that because I'm speaking about it in the video, how I'm more embodied, and I'm really excited to just let it out and say I'm embodied and I'm a starseed, because before then I didn't want to just speak about it to anybody. I would bump into resonant souls and we'd both be able to come out and say, hey, I'm a starseed. But at this point I was like, I'm loud and I'm proud. I'm a starseed, and I am here and I'm excited to do my work. And so I'll provide that video. So physical embodiment, this is something in general that most humans experience because we as a collective have become so detached from ourselves and true nature. We've become detached from our divine nature. And there are reasons for that, reasons for becoming detached. And trauma is largely it's one of the huge reasons why, and I'll be speaking more about that in my podcast, and I already have published quite a few videos on trauma or mention it in these videos. But this disembodiment, it is also very prevalent amongst indigos, all waves of indigos. So I'm speaking about the first wave, the second wave, the third wave, etc., because a lot of people refer to indigos that way, the waves that we came in, incarnated in on planet Earth. So I'm talking about those that were deemed and are deemed way showers, indigos, star seeds, crystals, crystal children, the rainbow children, rainbow tribe. I'm sure you've heard of a lot of these terms, or it's possible that you consider yourself one of these, okay? So it's like basically those that were born during the 80s up to the present moment. It doesn't mean that only these people who were incarnated during that time are a certain vibration of indigo, okay? There are so many awakened and very highly evolved souls that have incarnated at other times, before the 80s. It's just that at this current time, especially since the 80s up until now, there's just been a lot of souls incarnating onto the planet. And it's because of the current shifts that we are going through at this time. There's some drastic change happening on our planet right now. And we're coming in to help with this shift, and it's a shift of consciousness. We struggle with physical embodiment in such a way that is very different. And see, that's because we are accustomed to higher vibration. Point blank, we are accustomed to higher vibration of living that is not within the third dimension, or hasn't been for some time now, but that's changing, right? It's just we're not used to such heaviness that has existed upon planet Earth. Honestly, Yeah, if you're a starseed, you know exactly what I'm talking about. How heavy, how extremely heavy it feels here. I think that's exactly why we as star seeds, indigos, we choose. You know, at some level, we are choosing not to be embodied, because when you're embodied, you can feel the heaviness. You definitely feel it. Like, you definitely feel more physical, and it's a sensation that is very different than feeling lighter in other vibrations. I channeled some messages, some well expressed thought on this from my higher self last spring during a Mercury retrograde. And I might share some of that today with you guys. But I've also been thinking about creating a book or something to help indigos, especially what we call millennials. You lovely, lovely millennials. Because I see this disembodiment strong within this group, honestly. Yeah, honestly, I wonder who all is considered a millennial. I'm not sure. I was born in the 80s, 87, so I'm not really sure if I'm considered a millennial. But I know that the 90s kids, right, and those born in the 2000s are considered millennials. Just in general, 90s and those born in the 2000s, I'm seeing disembodiment strong. I've worked with kids, I've worked at schools, I've worked at nonprofits that work with kids, and I've been a nanny and all that. So I've really seen disembodiment strong in the younger generation. They seem to hold high vibration, but seem so lost and confused, but very expressive. And I'm noticing a lot that were born in the late 90s, they're very expressive about mental health. I don't know if you've noticed that, but expressive about mental health or having what they believe is a mental illness. I'm going to go ahead and move on to what Mother Ayahuasca showed me. Mother Ayahuasca showed me physical embodiment entails the following: 1. Observing your physical body. Observing your physical body, how you feel and how it feels, and how your body reacts to foods. It's actually easier to listen to your body if you have detoxed. Detoxing flushes out gunk from your intestines, and our intestines are 25 feet or 35 feet long. That's a lot. That's really long. That's crazy. Detoxing flushes out gunk from our very long intestines and toxins that are harbored in different parts of your body. Once you do this, you will notice your cravings are different, your reactions to foods are different, and they're louder for you to notice. And your health will be improved in general if you detox. Now, guys, Mother Ayahuasca, she is a detox. When you drink the tea, you will notice your stomach might make sounds. You'll feel movement in your gut. She's a purgatory. She'll cause you to purge, man. She'll cause you to purge. If you've done research, you know most likely you're gonna purge. That's nothing to be afraid of. It's nothing to be scared of. It's actually a good thing. That means you're gonna most likely vomit. You might have to go poop. You might sweat. You might have to do all three. You might have to do 2 out of those 3. You might only do 1 of the 3. Okay? However it is for you. Tea cleans out your intestines, and definitely any food that was not sitting well, was not agreeing with your body, but perhaps you just didn't have the awareness, the consciousness to know that it wasn't agreeing with your body. Before my first session with Mother Ayahuasca, I actually decided to fast. And I did that because I just had an intuitive feeling. And since I already have a lot of knowledge on fasting and detoxing and eating lighter, higher foods, cleaner, yeah, I went ahead and did that to prepare myself. I felt it would be best to prepare my body for her so that I would be able to reap the most out of the tea. If my stomach had any gunk, I felt it would have been uncomfortable had I drank the tea and not fasted or detoxed. Because, I just felt like with knowing about cleaning out so that you can actually digest shit better, I just felt like if I had not detoxed or fasted, it would have been harder for the tea to move through my intestines and then for my body to absorb it and for me to have an experience that actually would be more pleasant, because I would be feeling stuff moving and old shit moving around in my stomach, and it would just not feel good. And I'm gonna tell you right away, it won't. Yeah. Later, I actually learned from research that many Later, I learned from research that many indigenous shamans who administer the tea to others, they actually suggest that participants adhere to what they call a dieta. Okay, a dieta. And that is basically what I did. It's basically eating a very light plant-based diet for at least a week. It's maybe some shamans have people do it for a month. Um, I did it for a week. I stuck to plant foods. I was already vegetarian anyways, but I made sure to remove dairy. Okay, and that's huge. So Mother Ayahuasca, she cleans you out, and you may notice that you don't want to eat some foods you used to eat. For me, my body became repulsed by the smell of dairy. Through Mother Ayahuasca and working with Kambo, which is another um, medicine, I would love to talk with you guys, and I'll have a video up about that sometime. So through Mother Ayahuasca and Kambo, I was shown my body did not want me to put any dairy in it at all. When I craved pizza and had a few slices, my face would break out, man. It would break out into a rash. I'd also have problems going poop. Just being real with you. Like dairy, and I know that happens with other people, like they'll either experience constipation or um, more like an effect of being allergic to dairy, where they actually have the runs. But for me, it was constipation and skin issues. I actually go into that more in my skin healing journey, but that's not what we're talking about right now. But just throwing it out there for you. Now, guys, I have been working on a 21-day Flush and Fast e-course, an online course that I'll walk you through. I share the importance of flushing, the importance of flushing out the gut, and how a plant-based fast is beneficial for your health. In this course, each week I'll focus on a facet of health. So the first week I talk about physical health, the second week I talk about mental emotional health, and the third week I talk about spiritual health and how detoxing and fasting benefit all these facets of your health. I've created mantras of intention, there's interactive assignments, and I'll always be available to answer questions that you may have through your 21-day journey. If you're interested in learning more about this e-course or wanting to take it, please leave me a comment or email me, all right, so that I know. I'll add you to a list so that I can notify you when the course is done. And I would love to make a promo code specifically for you since you have found out about my course through one of my YouTube videos. I'll throw it out there. If you want to be super supportive, you can send me love donations to my PayPal account. Now, by sending me love donations, this will highly support me in finishing this online course because I've been working on finishing it for some time now, but it's really hard because I've had to focus more on my matrix job, which takes my focus away from doing the things I actually really love doing and what I'm meant to do. Um, so for those of you that feel it within your heart to donate and support my work, that will help me so much that I can do that and I can get this course out to you guys. There's also another way that you can donate slash financially support my work, and that is through my Patreon community. If you join at any of the tiers, you'll have a percentage off for the lifetime of your membership on any of my services and courses. So by doing that as well, that is supporting my work, and I wanted to throw that out to you. So I'm coming before you and telling you about the stuff I've been working on as a means to help you through this part that is actually really, really important in becoming more embodied, okay, more physically embodied. Now we're going to move on to the other points because I want you to know why this is important and what all is entailed in being physically embodied. Part 2, breathing. Which is why I had you do it in the beginning of the video. My time at yoga school actually ended up aligning with my time where I drank and communed with Mother Ayahuasca. So that was a very beautiful, beautiful time for me. Through teachings at school, at yoga school, and implementing pranayama, which is breathwork in Sanskrit, while I sat in ceremony with her, I felt sensations I had not before. I felt different parts of my physical body come alive. I could literally see into areas of my body, like my lungs, my sinuses, my brain, my stomach, for example. I was able to bring so much awareness into these spaces, which awareness facilitates healing. Awareness is light. Your breath is the carrier. Your breath is the vehicle for prana, other paths. They call prana by chi, ki, prana, energy. All of this literally means energy, life force energy. When I would remember to take deep belly breaths during ayahuasca ceremonies, it would also change my experience. So if I was struggling in ego, if I was struggling in thought, um, maybe even something confusing at first, which it would feel confusing because it's my mind trying to figure it out. Which many people who use plant medicines recreationally, this kind of experience that I'm referring to when you're struggling or if you feel that it's uncomfortable, you'll hear a lot of people say, I had a bad trip. Mostly people who use plant medicines, drugs recreationally, they'll use those terms, bad trip. Having a bad trip is usually because you are trying to control your experience. You are using ego. You're not letting go of control. And when you are going to partake with I'd rather say that a plant teacher or drug, because some things are made more in a lab, right? You have to relinquish control. But anywho, so when I had those moments where I wasn't letting go of control, and so I was experiencing an uncomfortable experience, I began to take deep breaths in through my nose, out through my mouth. My experience would change. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean I was still able to control it. It just allows you to release that control. And once you stop fighting, once you let go of control, your experience will change. I'd become very present of the air flowing into my nose, and it would feel like the most fucking amazing thing ever. I'm not lying to you. It felt like as if I had never breathed air before. I experienced air in a whole new way. I would feel air upon my face. I would experience feeling and the knowing that I'm detached from my body, that I can and was traveling within astral and other realms. And if I focused on my physical body down there, because literally you will realize like you're kind of floating up above it, you'll definitely feel sensation that you're higher and that your physical body is lower. It's down there. So if I focused on my physical body down there below me, I would remember that I do have a body. It's really funny, but it sounds funny. But you'll realize, oh shit, I have a body. I could send my direction of thought, and I want to be very precise of that. I would focus on my direction of thought to my body and specific body parts. This is the same in yoga. Yoga teaches you union of the mind and the body. That's what yoga means, union. In yoga, there will be times when you're in a bad mood or worried about things in your life. And when you're on your mat, when you're on your yoga mat, you're trying to do asanas. You're trying to do positions, okay? You are moving your body, but your focus is on thought. Your focus is in your mind. You're focusing on things that have nothing to do with where your body is physically at in that moment. In yoga practice, you teach yourself to bring your awareness, your thought to your body, your every move, to your intentions that you set, if you set any intentions before you started your practice. Your breath is your guide. Breathe deeply and focus on the breath, on how good that breath feels, how your body relaxes when you breathe deep, how your muscles can unwind and relax. They can unwind and relax from tension. And then focus and direct that breath to different areas of your body. Asanas will show you where you have pain, where you have tightness, where you have resistance within your body. And through focus on your breath and direction of your breath to these very areas within your body that feel painful or tight, you can breathe life into these areas and heal them over time. The muscles will eventually relax, which means toxins will flow out of that area. Energy blocks will be removed and allow for energy in your chakra system to flow more fluidly. Your body will begin to move back towards physical alignment, energetic alignment, and strength. Guys, I don't say all of this to preach about yoga to you, okay? That's not my intention. What I hope you take away from this is how powerful your breath is. And you can focus on your breath at any point of the day. Thich Nhat Hanh, a Buddhist monk, and I speak about him in different videos. He wrote a beautiful little book, True Love, An Awakening of the Heart. And he teaches you about your breath. He teaches you about mindfulness, awareness, about presence. I highly recommend it. Number 3, presence. What I just said about Thich Nhat Hanh, the Buddhist monk, when I spoke about presence, his book teaches you about mindfulness, how your breath will teach you about mindfulness and presence. It's a very good point. I keep using the word awareness, okay, and I have in many videos, and that's synonymous with presence. When we are in our thoughts, thinking of the past, the future, the worries, the anger, whatever emotions, whatever feelings, we are not present. We have directed our focus and energy onto things within our mind, but with good breathing, y'all, good breathing, and focus on the breath, you will become so aware of not only your body, but your surroundings. You'll become very aware of where you are, who is around you, what you are doing. You may even be able to detect other people's moods when you become very present. You can focus on your breath when you wash dishes. Focus on breath during lovemaking. Focus on breath during a walk. Focus on your breath while you drive to a destination. Focus on your breath at your next social gathering. See what happens. Number 4, physical alignment. I mentioned physical alignment when I spoke on how yoga will eventually result in better physical alignment. It is so incredible the messages she gave me in those 9 months with her. Yeah, there's just no denying that. Because some didn't make sense right away, and I pondered them at that time. And months later, and sometimes years later, I finally understood what she was sharing with me. One of those things that she was sharing with me at that time that I didn't understand, it was perhaps in November or December of 2015. She told me that I needed help with my spine. No kidding. She shared with me that I needed to find a chiropractor. I thought that was actually really interesting because I had seen one for the first time in 2013, right before I left for Italy. And I really felt a difference in my body and with certain areas that I had been experiencing stiffness. But I didn't know enough about the human body, about anatomy, and the muscular skeletal system at that time to know that one alignment with a chiropractor doesn't fix misalignment forever. It's just like kicking a bad habit. When you're used to something, you have to begin a new habit and keep repeating it until you desire the new habit or you have cultivated a practice or some kind of dedication to that new practice or new habit. Same goes with your muscular skeletal system. Your muscles want to go back to the old way it was. They want to go back to the way they were before the alignment with the chiropractor because it's been that way for so long. Your body is literally programmed, stuck in poor alignment, in an old way. And that's from all kinds of things. Now, in my case, I had poor alignment. I was out of alignment because of car accidents, physical abuse, sexual abuse, weak ab strength, large breasts, flat feet, poor posture, carrying around very heavy objects, mostly fucking bags because of college, having to lug my books around all day on campus. What she said began to make sense 1 month later. When in yoga school, we moved on to balancing poses. We moved on to balancing poses and hip openers. And I was not able to successfully complete one single fringle. Single fringle. Oh shit, that's funny. One single friggin' pose, especially from balance. I was kind of able to do some hip openers, but couldn't do any of the balance asanas. I got so upset, you guys. I got so upset in yoga school. I felt like I was falling behind in class. And also, I want to mention that I was feeling intense emotions stirring up from these places in my body when I was doing hip openers. I was feeling intense emotions coming up from the very spaces where I was out of alignment. But at the time, I didn't know I was out of alignment. I would find that out later. So, like I said a minute ago, about hip openers, I especially felt it in hip opener asanas. The one called frog pose. Yeah. When I got into frog pose, I did it as best as I could. I was in pain, and dude, I began crying. I mean, I was like crying. But because of the way frog poses, your face is like facing the floor, so I was able to cry without anybody noticing. I was in tears. I observed my flow of thought while I was in this pose. I'm going to get into that later with you. I just want you to know that yes, I became aware of the emotions and I had a bunch of thoughts streaming forth. A little over a year later, I finally had health insurance and found a really good chiro. And I'm not exaggerating, and I'm very, very grateful that he's this good. He's so good. You can tell that this is what he's meant to do, or at least one of the things he's meant to do. With this specific chiropractor, I began a long, arduous, painful journey that I'm actually still on, but I've made a lot of progress. I started this journey with chiropractic care last year, 2018, in January or February, and it's still ongoing. But guys, I've made a lot of progress, and I want to share that with you. That sometimes working on your health, working on your body, it will take time, but it's worth it. It's a journey, but you'll get there. So I want to encourage anyone out there who is working on their body that you will get there. Just stay disciplined, stay encouraged. You know, I'm rooting for you on your healing path. You'll notice that in my videos, I've looked different at certain times. Sometimes I look like I've gained some weight. Sometimes I look maybe like I've lost weight. It's because of the chiropractic care. Sometimes, especially in the very beginning, I could barely move because there was some drastic shifting of my vertebrae to put them back in alignment. And so I had to stop exercise. I had to stop moving my body so much to let everything heal and not put something back in out of, misalignment. So I just wanted to share that with you. I realize now why she told me to find a chiropractor and to work on my spine. My spine was so misaligned, including my hips, shoulders, legs, feet, ribs. It's no wonder I couldn't do any of those balance poses. I was freaking crooked. I actually had to leave yoga school for a few reasons, and one being because I couldn't move on further while processing restored memories recovered while I was drinking the tea, because of yoga, because of kambo, but also because I was doing seva at the time, selfless service, and it required a lot of energy and time from me. So I was not able to focus on yoga school, and I fell behind in my studies. So I didn't have time for myself to focus on myself and my healing. So I left the retreat, I left yoga school to handle some business and start taking care of myself. So now that I've spoken about chiropractic care, I really, really want to offer this suggestion to you. I want to share this with you. I want to encourage you to look into chiropractic care. Whether you have insurance or not, you can look at Groupon. I mostly go to Groupon. I know Living Social might have it, but look at these places for discounts on chiropractic care if you want. You don't have to. But I strongly encourage you to research chiropractors in your area and call them up. If you're experiencing any kind of symptoms, like a cold, sinus issues, not sleeping well, some pain or tightness in a certain area of your body, if you're having any issues with your eyes, like twitching. I actually had an eye twitch a year or two ago and ended up finding out that it had to do with a vertebrae in my neck. If you have jaw issues, TMJ, I think it's called, if it like clicks or pops out of place. Um, if you have any spasms going on, if you experience like muscle spasms or twitching in your fingers or hands, women, if you're experiencing irregular periods or cramps or just anything having to do with your reproductive system, and men too, okay? Asthma, like I said, allergies, any breathing difficulties, call up chiropractors, ask them questions and ask them how getting care from them would help these symptoms, and they'll tell you. I'm going to let you know right now, every vertebrae on your spine, it's connected to something in your body. It's connected to muscles and connected to nerves. It's connected to different organs in your body. And by getting care with a chiropractor, a good one, okay, you're going to notice a difference. You're going to notice that symptoms are going to subside. You're going to get help with these symptoms. I want to offer that to you. I know there's a lot of bullshit out there, man. There's a lot of bullshit on alternative healing. You gotta, just like you're doing the research on Mother Ayahuasca, do the research on chiropractic care. Look it up for yourself. Call some people. You're gonna see that this shit is actually real. It's actually real. It works. It heals. I strongly suggest it to you to give it a try. If you do end up getting with someone who's maybe not as good or is not as passionate, you know, maybe your opinion of it will not be great. But once you find a good one, you're going to notice. And that's why I'm grateful. It took me 2 different chiropractors before I found the one I have now. And I couldn't speak of him more highly. So it might take some time, but you'll find one eventually, and it can help you on your journey. Chiropractic care, along with massage, yoga, any kind of therapy or healing work that involves the body and touch or body movement in general, is considered body work. I want you to remember this because I'm going to be talking about it more later, okay, guys? Number 5, energetic alignment. With physical embodiment, energy alignment is inevitably part of it. If you work on your energy, you affect your physical body. If you work on your physical body, you affect your energetic body, your aura, your chakras. Let me dive into this quickly, but I know many of you probably already do different practices to help your energy. So I want to encourage you to keep doing it. Keep on with your practices because you are actually helping yourself. And you're helping yourself with your physical embodiment here on planet Earth. Mother Ayahuasca does so many things, as I keep saying to you guys, because it's true. One of the many things she does is help your body purge of the old. I told you already she's a purgatory. I'm going to go a little bit deeper on that. The physical, you'll notice when you drink the tea, like I said, you may need to puke, and like it's nothing to be ashamed of or scared of. She is exterminating. She's bringing out old debris from within you. When I say debris, I mean food, old food, toxins. Very possible she might be taking out some parasites. Like I said, you guys, that's the physical part of it. That's the physical manifestation of the energetic buildup. She's also purging and clearing your energy. Her presence is multidimensional. So as you go through your journey with her, different things will arise for you. Memories, feelings, knowing, whatever. Things definitely will come up, whether you are conscious of it or not. And as the old is purged, your energy is being cleared. Your energy is being freed from this old. So whether it was past life events, present life event, whatever emotions from whatever time, you are being cleansed. You are being cleared of it, which allows for your aura to be clearer of stagnant old energy and your chakras cleared from stagnant old energy. These past events, if not healed, therefore transmuted, become energetic imprints in our energy field, in our aura, in our chakras, and cause energy blocks, which then eventually manifest as physical ailment, as dis-ease. So as you see, the body and energetic body are intertwined, interdependent. And I speak on that in my e-course, by the way. You can clear your energy in many ways. My favorites are through pranic healing, saging, mantras, and salt baths. Oh, and nature. Can't forget nature. If you want to know more about any of these clearing techniques, please comment below for real, and or you can email me. Ready? Number 6, stored memories within your body. This is a good segue to talk about stored memories within the body. It is so crazy and fascinating. Gonna tell you right now. Before Mother Ayahuasca, I had no idea that I had stored memories, information in my body, stored in my body, and that some of the information was not serving my highest good. My hips hold memory of being raped. That's the biggest one for me. I could list other things, but this is by far the biggest challenge that I have had this far in this current incarnation. It's also a huge reason I felt inspired to start my podcast and speak on healing the masculine and feminine. Another memory that surfaced during a combo ceremony and then one day later in the ayahuasca ceremony was a very difficult childbirth that I had in a past life where I lost a lot of blood, a tremendous amount of blood, and it's very possible that I died. I remember seeing my partner standing over me and looking down and crying. That's possibly why in this incarnation, especially when young, I never thought of having children. I never had interest in having children, and didn't even really like being around children. It's not that I hated them or anything. I just had no interest in being around children or holding babies. I always thought that was kind of weird. But in 2012, when the universe began putting me with children and then getting a job at a school, I realized I loved working with children. So it's very possible that one of the reasons why I had no interest is because of this past life memory. Now, a memory on a smaller scale, I'll give you an example on that. I had an experience where one of my thighs became tight and painful about a year ago. And when I began working on this through chiropractic work, massage, trigger point therapy, and yoga, I tapped into the memories of sadness, disappointment, and uncertainty. Our bodies are so fascinating. They're so fascinating, and it doesn't end with what you see with your physical eyes. Our subtle bodies exist too. Your aura exists. It does. When an emotion or memory is traumatic and it's not processed, healed, transmuted, it becomes stored somewhere in your body. If it wasn't resolved, therefore healed in other lives, it can carry over into your current life, into this incarnation. So if you have an ailment or issue that doctors can't seem to figure out, or it keeps returning, or an ailment, dis-ease, that has sprung up recently, I strongly encourage you to reflect on your life, to reflect on past events and how you've been feeling lately. I also suggest that you Google Louise Hay if you don't already know about her, and look at her book. I believe it's called You Can Heal Yourself or You Can Heal Your Life. one of those. But of course, as always, I'll provide links below. Many people have posted a majority of her work on their blog, so actually at this point it's free. I mean, you can buy her book so that you have it yourself, but you can also Google it when you're in a pinch. You'll find blogs who have an ailment listed and the resolution. So let me tell you about that. Let me tell you about a little bit about her work. Louise Hay, she was able to heal herself by realizing our thoughts and emotions are what cause our disease. Disease is dis-ease, like I mentioned earlier. So if you look up a symptom or illness in her book or any blogs that have her work, you're going to notice you can look up the symptom or the illness, and there's going to be an affirmation next to it that you can practice, that you can say every day, so that you are rewiring your thinking pattern, you're rewiring your thought to begin healing this symptom, healing this illness over time. I can personally tell you, yes, it works, because I've done it myself. I wouldn't speak about it if I don't know about it. I've had different things pop up, different symptoms, and when I become aware of what truly caused that symptom or illness, I can say her affirmation that she has written or something that I personally make on my own, or I extend forgiveness or send the symptom, the actual energy tied to the symptom or illness, to be transmuted, and the illness will leave. I will add that sometimes you have to go further. Sometimes you do have to do other things other than affirmation to aid in your healing. So let me continue to share resources that can aid in energetic healing. Consider a hypnosis session or past life regression. This will allow you to tap into memories you had no idea were there. It will help you tap into useful information that can facilitate healing in this life. I strongly recommend it if you have childhood trauma, post-traumatic stress disorder, past life trauma, things of this nature. Or if you can't seem to figure out why you have an ailment or disease, regression therapy can tap you into answers as well. I also want to mention the Hawaiian prayer, Ho'oponopono. I always get really tongue-tied with that. I might have missed an opono. There's quite a few in there. It can help you transmute stored memories as well. Stored memories, emotions, unforgiveness. The concept is based on unity, non-duality. It's based on the concept that if you were wronged by someone, then you wronged yourself too. And that person who wronged you wronged himself or herself too. If you wrong someone, you've wronged yourself, because in essence, we are all one. It's based on taking responsibility and offering forgiveness. As always, I will supply that below. You can say this prayer as often as you want. Try to do it at least once a day for 30 days and see how you feel, and see if any symptom has subsided or what changes have occurred in your life. See what has transformed for you. There actually has been scientific research on this prayer, so I encourage you to look into it. Lastly, guys, I want to tell you about pranic healing. I have personal experience with pranic healing as well. Pranic healing is a lot like Reiki. I haven't finished my certification in Reiki, so I won't speak on it. As I said, I don't speak on anything I do not know, but I'm certified in pranic healing and practice that mostly daily, so I want to speak on that and share some things with you. Because I've personally done it on myself, I can attest for this, but also I can personally vouch for it because I'm clairvoyant. So I can actually see what's going on when you practice pranic healing. And I'm telling you, this modality works. It's fantastic, and it's scientifically proven. I couldn't commend Master Chuakoksui more for this, because so many, especially in this day and age, they want tangible proof. And also it's just beautiful to tie science and spirituality together so that you can see that you don't have to be one or the other, that truly, in essence, one is the other. It's just the other side of the coin. It seems to be the evolved version of Reiki. In pranic, we go into a person's aura with their permission, of course, and we clean away old energy. We sweep it out. We then go on to each chakra and sweep out old energy as well. We also cut negative energy cords that have been created, binding you to someone or something that is draining your life force. This is very crucial. We replenish your energy with divine energy, and this is the part that is a lot like Reiki. Because in my personal work, as in with my services, I use different gifts that I have. They come forth in my service while I'm doing a pranic session on a person. I've had channeled messages come forth, light language and toning, images. I've had guides speak before, info come forth. Every pranic healing session is unique. Each person, every experience is different. If you would like to try a session, comment below or email me and ask me questions. And since you found out about it through this video, I would love to give you a discount so that you can try this and see for yourself how it can help you and help your healing. And like I mentioned earlier, much earlier in the video, if you become a patron of my community, you'll always have a lifetime discount to my services. So you can schedule a pranic session at any time and always have that specific discount assigned to your tier if you're interested in that. I'm just throwing it out there. It's not because I'm trying to like toot my own horn, but I want to be able to provide as much help for you as possible and it be beneficial for both of us, a positive experience for both of us. In pranic healing, guys, there is a forgiveness prayer. So I mentioned the Hawaiian prayer, so I want to mention pranic healing, the healing prayer, the forgiveness prayer that is practiced in pranic healing. And it also works. I have felt energy transform, and have felt more peace and like a less resistance when I practice this prayer of forgiveness. If I can find a YouTube video with it, I'll provide that. If not, I will write it down or something and put it in the description. Okay, so now that I've talked about this, I want to move on to talking about body work. I told you to remember about body work because everything I've mentioned in this point thus far, as in this section, is about energetic healing. It's an energetic approach without touch or body movement. So, lovely people, number 7, body work. Ta-da! Obviously has to do with working with the physical body. There being healing through physical touch or a small form of body movement. So far, I have mentioned yoga, massage, trigger point therapy, and chiropractic care. These are forms of body work. There are various forms of each of these as well. There's also acupuncture, cupping, EFT, which is a form of tapping, reflexology, Maori healing work, which man, my soul craves for this. Like, I really want to learn this form of Maori body work so bad. And there's craniosacral. I haven't tried it, but I am hopefully going to be trying it this year. There's even more modalities, other forms of body work that I haven't mentioned. So I definitely encourage you to start looking and Googling stuff if you feel inclined or inspired, moved by spirit, moved by soul to look into these. But I want to stick with what I know and what I've experienced or what I've researched, so that's what I'm going to talk about. Really, as you listen to what I'm sharing from what Mother Ayahuasca showed me and what my life experiences have taught me, you will begin to see on a different level why healing is so important, why there are healing modalities that are not of Western medicine, okay? It's not of big pharma. You will see why energetic healing and physical healing is important, and it's not hocus pocus, hooey balooey, hogwash, hippie talk. It's none of that. It's real. Working on our physical bodies and therefore our energy is clearing us, healing us from pain and suffering we have harbored in this life, past lives, and collectively. So I have mentioned collectively, so I'll touch on this. It is very possible for you to be feeling, experiencing, holding something that has happened to the female collective or the masculine collective. Twin flame code holders experience this, and I talk about this. I have a whole playlist dedicated to twin flame code holders. So if you are one of those, I strongly recommend that you check out my playlist to see if any of my content there helps you. Also, the feeling something from a collective could have to do with something that has happened to your soul family or your earth family that you have incarnated into at this time. Yes, this may sound crazy, but it's possible. Ty and I tried and studied Falun Dafa back in 2017, actually. And in their book, the creator of the system wrote that very advanced, evolved souls, so those who are more evolved, some that are ascended masters, they're further along in the ascension process, they have the ability to take on someone else's karma. So, for example, a family member. You can choose to clear and heal someone else's karma in your lifetime at this time as a way to help clear it away for them. Actually, a lot of twin flame code holders, we are experiencing this. This is part of the work that we're doing where we are collectively clearing from the masculine and feminine, but from our soul family, from our incarnated family, we're clearing away family karma, generational curses. Other star seeds, you probably will notice this too. Just basically in general, a lot of very evolved souls, you're going to notice, or you've already become aware, you're conscious of this, okay? By the way, guys, Falun Dafa is another form of body work that I didn't mention, that I forgot to list in the beginning, because you are moving your body. These forms of body work give you an opportunity to feel your body, what's stored in your body. They give you the opportunity to bring awareness to places, to spaces within your body that need your loving attention. So you can bring forth prana, like I mentioned earlier when talking about yoga. So you can bring forth attention, your presence. So you can release emotions, stored info in your body. So you can bring forth forgiveness of self and or forgiveness to others. With body work, maybe you'll feel the need to pray. Maybe you'll feel the need to say an affirmation or a mantra. Maybe you'll feel a need to practice a specific stretch or asana for a certain amount of time. Maybe you'll realize you need to adjust your thinking habits and cultivate better thoughts of self, others, and life. There are endless possibilities of what may occur specifically for you. But energetic work and body work provide you with tools to release the energy, to release the information, and facilitate healing on a multi-dimensional, holistic level. A great simple way to summarize all of these points into one is the keyword purity or purification. Mother Ayahuasca provides your physical body, emotional body, mental body, your soul with purification from the past. Whether you were the one who hurt another or the one hurt by someone, whether you were the doer or the receiver of unconscious deeds, purification is important. It's really hard to organize, store, move forward if there isn't any space. Think of a home. If there is built up clutter, dirty dishes piled in the kitchen, clothes everywhere, old food and dishes scattered around, boxes, trash, etc., it would be hard to move through the house or bring in new furniture or even enjoy the space because there is none and it feels and smells and looks filthy. Same with your physical body. That is why cleansing internally is important, so you can better absorb nutrients from your food. Same goes for all your other bodies and aspects. Purification provides a clean slate, clarity, peace, and later we'll talk about integration. That's why before I got into any of these other points, I made sure the very first thing I talked about in this video was detoxing. It's very important. It's a very important part of the purification process. Number 8, body movement. Body movement is a great way to connect with your form and feelings, to bring the mind and body together as one, but to also give your body some form of action. Exercise. Body movement helps against energy stagnation in the body, which causes illness. When there is stagnation in Ayurveda, we see that as too much of the earth element. Think of earth. It's solid, it's hard, it's sturdy, it barely moves. Land, mountains, rocks, they're all very steady, they're not fluid. When a person has too much earth, in their constitution, in their elemental makeup, they're imbalanced basically. Their elemental makeup is imbalanced. And this causes inflammation in the body, excess mucus, weight gain, laziness, and or lethargy, stubbornness. I actually have earth element in my constitution. Mother Ayahuasca showed me I should move my body more to prevent an imbalance caused by too much earth. She told me to move my body to feel my connection to it. I love dance, any form of dance, and that's one way to move your body. So like I said, I love to dance, especially like expressive and ecstatic dance, a drumming circle of some sort. There's also walking, running. I've mentioned yoga so many times, aerial yoga, weightlifting. There's all kinds of movement. Body movement is good. It really is. It keeps us healthy, keeps energy flowing properly. And if you pay attention to your body, your breath, and your feelings at the time that you're moving your body, you will feel a beautiful connection take place. Your movement can become expressive. Tapping in this way is a beautiful form of creativity, which is feminine energy. And the doing itself, the action of moving, that's masculine energy. So it's a beautiful display of your feminine and your masculine at work together. Isn't that beautiful? Here's baby Xena, you guys. You've never seen her before. Say hi. So after all this information, guys, thus far that I've given you, you may wonder how all of it relates to embodiment. So if there is any confusion, let me tie all of this together for you. By clearing, purifying our bodies of toxicity, all forms like bad food, old congested energy, etc., and taking care of our bodies, eating nutritious high vibrational foods, aligning our muscular skeletal system, moving our bodies, we create opportunity to anchor in our life force. We are creating the opportunity to anchor in our essence into our purified, aligned physical body. And we are able to tune into ourselves, tune into our body and its reactions to people, environments, foods, thoughts, emotions. We are able to feel. And I talk about feeling so much in my works. I talk about it so much. I specifically talk about emotions in a very important video, and I will make sure I provide the link above and below, because that has to do with how you feel, paying attention to how you feel in your vibration, making sure that you are not attracting negative entities, and how you can remove them and how you can claim your sovereignty. Okay, that's just a quick tidbit for you. Feeling is an amazing tool we have, a superpower, guys. It's a superpower. Our feelings tell us a lot of info. We create vibration from our feelings. We can change our realities with our feelings. Messages from Abraham Hicks cover this. Many of you may have already know about Abraham Hicks. Also, I have a lovely soul brother over in Hawaii, Daniel Scranton, and he channels messages from the Arcturian Council, and they speak on this a lot as well. There are many other channels and spiritual teachers who talk about feeling as well. If we are tuned into our feelings, if we are tuned into our intuition, okay, our body, we will know when there is disharmony, whether that disharmony is taking place in a situation, whether it's a person, a food, or a feeling within. And we can make conscious choices in the present moment to bring harmony, to remedy the situation and not let it fester, which eventually, if you let it fester, it would turn into, what have I mentioned before? Dis-ease, okay? So when embodied, you are connected and anchoring your higher self, your more conscious aspect of your soul, however you would like to word it, into your physical vessel. And I say vessel for a reason. Our bodies are vessels, temples, as termed in many traditions, because our soul is occupying this physical body. the physical body of flesh. So with physical embodiment, there is consciousness here, anchored into the physical reality, where many people are experiencing pain, confusion, chaos. I mean, look around, guys. Our consciousness brings more light and higher vibration into this dimension, into the collective reality where there is suffering and heaviness. I'm speaking about 3D, of course. Our consciousness collectively creates more places physically on the planet of higher vibration and energetically, which ultimately brings about a lot of change. It's going to bring a lot of change to the old way, to the old world, guys. It's going to bring a lot of change to the existence of illusion, bring a lot of change to the existence in illusion and what the East calls Maya. Our consciousness brings healing, love, patience, harmony, peace, forgiveness, when and where there is a lack thereof. So what do you think? After what I've shared with you, what do you think about everything? Can you see how physical embodiment is important on our journey, our spiritual path, our spiritual life, our evolution? I can personally say that I have had a bit of information for at least parts of physical embodiment, but I could never see it as a whole. I could never see the bigger picture. You know, I didn't know until later, when working with Mother Ayahuasca, why detoxing was so important, how detoxing helps anchor in my life force energy into my physical form, how purging and clearing out past life memories, wounds stored in my physical form, in my DNA, because of family, you know, the lineage I'm coming from. I didn't see how it was all tied together, or fully understand how clearing that deeply helped with anchoring in my essence, my divine energy into this body. I didn't understand that fully till I sat with the tea. I didn't see how all of this came together, you know? It wasn't until Mother Ayahuasca that I realized the memories within my body. It wasn't until her that I realized that, hey, Trina, man, you know, you gotta move your body, girl. You gotta get up and dance. You gotta get up and exercise. Because I'll tell you what, like, when I was younger, I hated gym class. I hated PE. And I was never an athletic girl. I was never into sports or anything like that. I was always in the clouds and drawing, reading, writing poetry. I freaking loved word search, you know, like a book of like doing words and crosswords. I was more into the intellect and arts. I wasn't into moving my body at all. Plus I was a very sick child. So it wasn't until her that I realized just how important it was to move my body and to work with my body. You know, that there is an energetic side to it, that I'm causing energetic stagnation in my body if I don't move my body. And therefore, toxins are also going to build up in the body. And this is proven. That's why there's massage and trigger point therapy. They're actually moving out muscles that are so bound tightly together, clamped together. And when muscles are that tight, toxins are stored in there. There's like stagnated fluid stuck in there. And if you do research on trigger point therapy, you'll learn that all that stagnant like fluid and stuff and toxins, it's actually as if your muscle thinks it's dead. Your body thinks that area of your body is dead because of all those toxins and that stagnated energy. So when you do get massage done or trigger point therapy, cupping, acupuncture, stuff like that, you're actually working on releasing the stagnated fluid, the physical side of it, and removing toxins, but also removing the energy. It's negative. It's become negative energy and an energy block. therefore causing an energetic block in your chakra system, in your energy system. Okay? And so you're gonna, as a result, you're gonna experience other things within your body because of maybe a tight muscle in your back or a tight muscle in your leg or your shoulder. So all of this is so important, and it all ties together. And it's incredible. And in my e-course, I go into that. I speak on how each part of our health, like I said, the physical, the mental, emotional, and spiritual, it's all tied together. It's all it's all interdependent. Okay, so when you work on one, you're actually kind of working on others. And so that's why, you know, there's holistic health and alternative healing, because when you're doing an alternative form of healing, and I say alternative as in it's not in going to the hospital, to a Western medical doctor. When you go through other paths that are considered alternative healing, you are working on a multifaceted level to holistically heal you, mind, body, spirit. Okay, so tell me what you think. Tell me what you think about any of this. If you have drank the tea, did she show you this as well? Are you planning on drinking the tea? Are you already working on some form of your healing? Are you doing some form of body work? Tell me what kind of body movement you love doing. If you have any interest in detoxing and flushing, tell me what you have done or what you're curious about doing, or if you're curious about the course that I have, the flushing course. I'll tell you that I have a video. It like blows my mind. It's on my old channel. It blows my mind how many views it's got, and it's kind of scary when I think about it, how many people are looking at my face. But it's the salt flush, okay? And that's actually what I'll be using in the e-course, walking you through. It's going to be the salt flush and then fasting, okay? In there, I speak on my personal experience the very first time I did it. So if you're curious about that or just anything, I really want to hear your thoughts on it, all right? Now, unless directed otherwise by Spirit, by Mother Ayahuasca, I'm hoping for the next episode to be on trauma and past life trauma, how Mother Ayahuasca helps to bring forth information for forgiveness, healing, resolution, and integration of the soul. So we'll see how that goes, what I'm led to do and speak on, but as of now, that's what I hope to touch on, okay? I truly hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that, you know, you found information here that will help you further along in your journey. Also, I would love it if you take a chance to look at my Patreon page and see what I got there. And if you personally have any suggestions, if there's something that you would like to see, some kind of reward that you think would be really cool to have as a Patreon member, hit me up and let me know, because I'm new to this, and the whole point is that I am able to help you, that I'm serving you in the best way that I can. So I wouldn't mind hearing your thoughts on that as well. Again, I just want to say that I'm so grateful to have you here. I'm so grateful that there are people out there who are interested and who are conscious, who are working on their path, who are dedicated on their journey of evolution, consciousness, you know, twin flame code holders. I just want to give you a shout out, man. Star seeds, you guys, you know, we're doing a lot of work. It can get pretty heavy and seem pretty challenging at times. I mean, you've seen me. I have not been in front of the camera for a while, and when I'm not, it's because I'm really working. It's like every day you are energetically working on something. There's just a lot of stuff to be transmuted and worked on, individually and collectively, for the planet, for the evolution of the human race. So thank you for being here. Thank you, all beautiful souls. May you be blessed. May you be guided by the light, by the divine, by the light within you. May you recognize the beautiful soul, the beautiful light that you are, that you have. Namaste. Mitakwe Oyasin. Arohanui. Be blessed.